In this video, we'll be showing you how to change your front brake pads and rotors on your 2019 to 2025 Mazda 3. And as usual, we'll be going through the whole thing together, and we'll show you a couple of quick tips. You are watching BrakeX. Let's get started. Now, first things first, we'll take the caliper off, and there's these two little bolts that we'll be working on. Once the two bolts off, we can now take off the caliper and just very gently wiggle it out. And then we can place the caliper at the top, but be very careful. We don't want to damage the brake hose, so we don't want to compress it too much. We don't want to leave the caliper hanging. Just make sure it's not compressed and it's just sitting at the top. And now we want to remove these two clips from the old pads. So just use your fingers, give them a gentle pull, and it should come right out. Maybe not too gentle. And now it's time to remove the old pads. So just very gently wiggle it. Just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. It should come right out. Now we can work on these two big bolts that's holding on your caliper bracket. Once we break it free, we can use an electric tool to screw it off. And a normal wrench would work if you don't have any. And now once we get the two bolts off, we can just take the whole thing out together. Now once we get the caliper off, we can get the rotor off the hub bearings. Now if the hub is a little bit seized, we can always spray in a little bit of WD-40s just to get it greased up first and wait it for 10-20 minutes, and then we can start working on it. But at the meantime, we can just work on the caliper bracket first. So there's these two old clips that you'll be looking to remove from the caliper bracket. And if your finger's strong enough, we can always use your fingers. If it's not, just use a flathead. It's a lot easier. And once we get the clips off, we can use a wired brush. For this part, if you have access to an air tool, that's great. If not, just something like this would work. Essentially, we want to clean up the area that the new pads and the new clips are going to be sitting on. So we're not looking to make it brand new, but it has to be clean. And once the caliper bracket's cleaned up, we can now grease it up, make it ready for the new clips. And here's a little tip for every single one of our video. The right amount of grease is not to flood your caliper or your clips with greases. We just need the right amount that's just covering that area up. The over-greasing is actually one of the biggest reasons why new brakes squeaks right after installing. So that's a note to catch on. And once we get the caliper brackets cleaned up and greased up, and the new clips installed, we can grease the brake pads so it's ready to sit on the new clips. And for today's video, we'll be using the BrakeX Theta brake pads with the Aegis GEOMET fully coated rotors. So if you like the video so far, or if you find this useful, at least make sure to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and check us out at brake-x.com. Now after we grease up the edges of the pads, we'd also like to grease up the inner pad where the piston is going to be pushing on the pads. The inner pad is actually always the pad with the metal handle that sticks out from the pads. So that's a little tip over there as well. But yeah, essentially we'll just want to do it as how it's showing right now. It's nothing crazy, it's just the right amount. And we can get the rotor off. And once we get the rotor off, it's also very important to clean up the hub, any excessive greases or rusts from before. And now we can just put the new rotors on. And here's a little tip: once we get the new rotors on and we're still working on other things, we can put a little lug over there just in case it doesn't fall off. Now we can use the caliper piston tool to push the piston back into the caliper to make room for the new pads. And after that, we can put the caliper bracket back on the car. Now we just have to put the 2 bolts back on the caliper bracket that we removed earlier. And if you have a bunch of bolts on the ground right now and you're not sure which one are the bolts, it's the 2 bigger bolts. And once we screw them in and tighten it up, we can now install the new pads. And it's almost like slipping the new pads into the new clips. And it should go right in. And it's the same story for the inner pads. It's just a little bit trickier because there's less space in the inner wheel well. But just be patient, slip it in, and try not to wipe all the greases off like what happened over here. And once we get the pads in place, we can put this 2 little clips. I'm not sure if they're called clips, but we can put them back on the pads, and this should be relatively easy. Now once we get that done, we can put the caliper back on the car. And onto the 2 bolts that was holding on the caliper that we removed at the very first place. And now at this point it should be the remaining 2 screws, but they are the smaller screws. And once we get that mounted and tightened, just give it a little more wrench, just give it a little nudge to make sure nothing's shaking or loose. And we're almost there. Please do not forget to torque your wheels. They are very important. And once again, thank you for watching Brake X. If you've liked the video or if you find us useful, at least make sure to drop a like, subscribe to our channel, and check us out at brake-x.com. And we'll see you again next time.